I believe the key to creating great communities starts with one thing. We have our careers and our family lives. For me, it's been in restaurants. But the people who make the biggest impact in a society are the ones who seem to focus on one thing above and beyond their professional path or family life. I was talking to my son the other day about the people he should respect and admire. I told him that all too often the people we put on a pedestal are celebrities or business people who've made a lot of money, many of whom never gave anything back to their communities. Then I told him about my neighbor, Van Jones. Van Jones is a former college athlete who operates a couple of after-school daycare centers for kids. Every Sunday morning, Jones spends a few hours picking up trash on a busy 2-mile stretch of road in my hometown, up one side and down the other. No one ever asked him to do it. There aren't any signs proclaiming his good deeds every week. He just does it because it needs to be done, and he feels it's the right thing to do for his neighborhood. It's his one thing. I told my son that is who I admire. My town's full of people who've blessed us with their one thing. Larry Doliak was passionate about Little League baseball. He spent decades supporting teams and helping to operate and maintain the ballparks. My hometown of Hattiesburg now has world-class Little League fields because he dedicated so much of his time and passion to his one thing. Sarah Newton's an architect who had an idea to host Live at 5 free concerts in the park. Now the entire community comes together 8 times a year to hear live music. Another Hattiesburger, Becky Montague, sets up little libraries the size of mailboxes which give people access to free books. Now people are reading free books all over town because she took the initiative to bring her one idea to fruition. My one thing, Extra Table, started with a simple phone call. 10 years ago, I received a call from the Edward Street Fellowship Center, a mission pantry that was feeding 800 families a month. They were completely out of food. They asked if I could help, and I said I'd be happy to. It seemed the best way to get them food would be to call my Cisco food rep and have an order drop shipped to the agency. Out of that phone call, my one thing was born. Extra Table's a nonprofit using business principles. It's based on the premise of what if every home and business had an extra table where they could feed those in need. I approached Cisco with the idea and asked if they'd sell me food at wholesale and deliver to agencies all across the state. I would raise the money. They didn't hesitate. To be honest, though, I was a little skeptical that there was even a hunger problem in Mississippi. I went on a fact-finding mission across the state and learned quickly. There's a huge problem. Over 670,000 Mississippians suffer from what the government calls food insecurity. Over 175,000 of those are kids who eat a school breakfast, a school lunch, and don't eat again until the next morning. Over 120,000 are seniors who right now are trying to figure out if they can pay the light bill or go to the grocery store. Extra Table was founded on 2 key principles. 100% of the money we raise for food will always go to food, and the food we distribute will always be healthy food. Mississippi's number 2 in food insecurity, but also number 1 in obesity. Originally, I had a problem reconciling those two, but I learned that people who don't have enough money to maintain healthy diets often live out of convenience stores, drinking cheap sugar-laden beverages and living off of junk food with no nutritional value, empty calories. Our first shipment took place in December of 2009. We hadn't looked back since. Today, Extra Table ships over 20 tons of healthy food a month to 40 agencies all over Mississippi. After 4 decades in the restaurant industry, I ended up in a place I'd never thought I'd land. 6 restaurants, 2 bars, 11 books, columns, a tour business, and a series of television shows. But that's all lagniappe, icing on the cake. At the end of the day, I believe the purpose of all of that was to lead me to my one thing. In a state of almost 3 million people, just think what the quality of life could be if everyone did just one thing. It doesn't have to be a big thing, just one thing. It can be as simple as picking up the trash beside the road in your neighborhood every week. At the end of the day, I often ask myself a question. Do I want to be the guy who fed people filet mignon, or do I want to be the guy who fed people canned tuna? It's an easy answer. Canned tuna wins every time.